So, you're thinking about moving to Beaufort, South Carolina, and you want to know, how much money do I need to make to afford to live in this area? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to look at 3 different neighborhoods in 3 different price points to show you exactly how much you need to make to live in one of these 3 neighborhoods. So don't go anywhere. We're getting started right now. Want to know everything there is to know about the South Carolina Low Country, whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County, then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about everything happening here. My name is David Simcox, host of the channel and a local realtor. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you and you and you looking to make their move here, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or book a Zoom call, all in the description below, so I can help you find your low country lifestyle. Now, in today's video, we're going to be going inside my computer and we're going to look at 3 different neighborhoods in Beaufort, South Carolina, so you can see how much money you'll actually need to make to live in these neighborhoods. Now, there's a few assumptions that I'm going to make. Now, I know there's a lot of people that move down here and they pay cash. We're going to basically create a scenario here and keep things consistent on all 3 neighborhoods. We're going to assume a 10% down payment. Now, I realize there's a lot of VA borrowers that do 100%. There's conventional. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. Some people want to put 20% down so they don't have mortgage insurance. But we're going to assume a 10% down payment, and we're also going to assume a 7% interest rate. And I know, you might be watching this 3 months or 3 years from now, and that rate could be higher or lower. So it's just for illustration purposes, but we're also going to include the taxes. We're going to include the insurance. Again, the insurance I'm just estimating. And then we're also going to include the POA fee, which is the Property Owner Association fee. If you've never been to the South Carolina Low Country, you might not realize that a lot of these neighborhoods have these fees that go into the common piggy bank to upkeep the pools and the amenities and maybe the guard gate if there's a guard gate, so these type of things. So without further ado, we're going to jump inside my computer and we're going to look at the first neighborhood starting right now. All right, so the first neighborhood that we're going to look at is this one called Shadow Moss, and this is what I would refer to as kind of an entry level or a starting point neighborhood, and there's a lot of inventory in there, so a lot of different opportunities to buy. And if I zoom out here, a lot of people know where Hilton Head Island is because that's been a major tourist destination ever since the 1950s. And then right across the bridge, this is all Bluffton, but today we're talking about Beaufort, South Carolina. And Beaufort is right here across 170, and it's this whole area in here. And there's a lot of things going on over there. It's definitely a very historic city. It's one of the oldest cities on the East Coast. And there's also a military presence here. So you've got the Marine Corps Training Depot, also known as Parris Island, and there's also the air station here. So we do have a lot of military folks. But right here is Shadow Moss, all right? And Shadow Moss has, let me just pull up some photos so you can kind of get an idea for the types of homes that you're going to see in Shadow Moss. All right, so here, and again, these have all already sold, so I'm not showing you anything that you wouldn't already be able to see on Zillow or on Trulia or on Realtor.com. But you can see these are, these are great houses, a lot of 2-story homes. And again, this just gives you kind of an idea. All right. So there were 69 transactions in the past year in this neighborhood, and the average sale was $384,489. So if you were to put 10% down, you'd be putting $38,448 down. And then with a 7% interest rate, your principal and interest payment would be $2,302 per month. Your taxes would be about $217 per month, and your insurance would be around $128 per month, and your POA fee, or your property owner association fee, would be about $50 per month. So all in, your monthly bill would be about $2,697 per month. Now, a lot of mortgage providers generally use about a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning whatever your housing expense is, they want you to be able to earn at least 3 times that amount on a monthly basis. So they would want you to earn about $8,091 per month to qualify for that mortgage. Again, there's a lot of nuances here. That's just some kind of general rules. That would mean that you'd need to make $97,092 a year as a household income. Or if you're in a 2-income household, you would each need to make $48,546 per year to live in Shadow Moss. All right, so now we are going to move on to the next neighborhood. All right, so now we are looking at a neighborhood called Habersham. And if you really want to know everything about Habersham, I have actually made a video especially about this neighborhood, so you can go and you can watch that and you can learn everything you want to know. But this is a Southern living inspired neighborhood, and it's kind of in a village setting. They've got their own shops and restaurants. They've got a waterfront area. They've got pools. They've got amenities. It's really an amazing place. And it's right here, actually, as the bird flies. It's almost next door to Shadow Moss, which is what we just looked at. But you do have to go up and around to get to it. So it's kind of off on its own, and it's a little bit of a drive away from kind of the rest of the shopping in downtown Beaufort, but it is a world unto itself. And let me pull up some photos so you can see kind of what the architectural style is in there. And when I said this is a Southern living inspired neighborhood, you'll see what I'm talking about here. You've got these huge front porches. You'll see that in a lot of these different listings. You'll see that they didn't go in and clear cut the neighborhood. They left most of the trees. So you'll see these giant oak trees covered in Spanish moss, and definitely an upscale and also a very Southern feel. So again, let me just pop through and show you a few more of these. There you go, that's a small one. And here's a little bit bigger one. Again, these are all, they've already sold in the past year, so you can't buy these right now. But these are all listings that you could find on Zillow or Trulia or anywhere else. Not showing you any kind of privileged information right now. But in Habersham, let's go back to our map. In Habersham last year, there were 56 transactions. And the average sale in Habersham was $829,296. Okay, so just one step up from our last neighborhood. And if you were to put 10% down, you'd be putting $82,929 down. Your principal and interest payment at 7%, again, I know you could be paying more or less depending on when you're watching this video, but at 7%, your principal and interest payment would be $4,966 per year. I'm sorry, per month. Your taxes is $466. If you want to know where to check what your taxes would be, there's actually this website right here. This is the Beaufort County Tax Calculator website. And basically you can go in here and you can type in the property value or the purchase value to get an estimate. There's these tax districts, and the way you figure that out is you actually look at the first 3 digits of the tax ID number, and then that will match up here. You'll see like 112. That's the first 3 digits of the tax ID number on these properties. And then you choose 4% for legal resident. If this was your second home, you would click on the 6% button, and then you put in the value, and it gives you the annual taxes right here. and then I just divide that by 12. So again, if I go into Habersham, that is going to give me a tax payment of $466 per month. Now, the insurance is estimated to be $276 per month, and your POA or your property owner association fee is going to be $137 per month, which means that your total monthly housing expense is going to be $5,845 per month. Now, again, if a bank is qualifying you and saying that you need to make 3 times that amount, you would need to make $17,535 per month, or about $210,000 per year as a household. Or if you're in a 2-income household, you would need to make about $105,000 each, all right, to live in Habersham. All right, so that's Habersham, and now we're going to move on to our third and our final neighborhood. All right, now we are in our final neighborhood, and this is the historic district right by downtown Beaufort, right by Bay Street, by all the shopping and dining and nightlife and everything there is to do in Beaufort. And it's right here on the river. And some of these houses are actual historic homes from the 1800s, and other homes have been made to look historic. But either way, they want to maintain the historic integrity of this area, and you'll see that when I show you some of these samples. So let me pop over here to some of these homes, and you'll see here's one, 2.9 million on the water with a dock. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's one. This is a newer home that was actually made to look historic. This one here is an actual historic home from the early 1800s. Here's a historic home. And here's another one from, again, the early 1800s. And then, as you can see, whether they're actually a historic home or made to look historic, they're gonna have that feel of looking like they're from a long time ago. So with that being said, let's pop over to the map and let's talk about some of the numbers in this neighborhood. So in the historic district, there were not that many transactions. There was only 14 sales in the entire past year. So if you want a historic home and you want that look and that feel, you better be ready to move when the right house comes on the market, because there's not that many opportunities to purchase this type of home in Beaufort, South Carolina. So there were 14 sales, and the average sale was $1,195,760. So using all the same scenarios that we did in the other 2 neighborhoods, that would mean that you would put 10% down, which is $119,576. Your principal and interest payment at 7% would be $7,160. Your taxes would be $676 per month. Your insurance would be estimated to be about $398 per month. Now, in this area, there's no POA fee, okay? So there's a big 0 in that category. That means your total monthly housing expense would be about $8,234. Now, again, if you were qualifying for a mortgage and they said they wanted you to earn at least 3 times that amount, that would be about $24,702 per month, which would mean that you would need to make about $296,424 per year as a household income. Or if you're in a 2-income household, you'd each need to make about $148,000. All right, so that is a summary of the cost in the historic district. All right, I hope you enjoyed looking at these 3 different neighborhoods in Beaufort, South Carolina, and seeing exactly what salary you would need to make to qualify for a mortgage in any of these neighborhoods. Now, again, I understand there are a lot of different neighborhoods all throughout Beaufort, so I just randomly chose 3 that have a fair amount of transactions, and also ones that I thought you might enjoy looking at. And I also know a lot of people come in here and they put more money down or they pay cash. but this is just so you can kind of get a feel for what it would cost if you were to qualify for a mortgage in Beaufort, South Carolina. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest happening here, be sure and like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know every time I drop a new video. And if I can help you find your low country lifestyle, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or book a Zoom call, and I would love to speak with you in person. At some point, hope to meet you, but if not, I will see you on the next video. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today.